It's a pleasure to come to you once again to bring you your favorite security and safety program called Security Watch Africa, and only on this channel we'll bring you that information you need to keep your life safe and secured. Welcome to the programs today. Like you can see, I'm still putting on my face mask. That is to remind us that we must comply with instructions and directive by the National Center for Disease Control, that we must ensure that we protect ourselves and our loved ones to avoid contracting the deadly coronavirus. Welcome to the program today. On the program today, we'll be looking at a number of issues. First of all, I would like to congratulate Nigeria and Nigerians on today is May 29th. The current political dispensation being experienced in the country today commenced May 29, 1999. And really, a lot of people have thought that will it be possible that Nigeria will have smooth transition all through. But glory be to God, today we are witnessing another May 29, and incidentally it's also the 6th anniversary of the current President Muhammadu Buhari-led government under the APC. And a lot of Nigerians have asked a lot of questions. How well has Nigeria fared so far in the last 6 years? That I will ask my guest, who is already in the studio with me, to look at that. But like we know, we must look at Nigeria and look with great hopes of a better future. Welcome to the program today. Yes, like I said, I have already in the guest an expert, somebody who can tell it all when it comes in terms of analysis and of issues, national and international issues that troubles you and I. I'm talking about Suleiman Ubagaya, who is national deputy, who was the former national deputy president of the Nigerian Guild of Editors and the chief executive officer of Sky Limit Media Group and a member of the World Editors Forum. He's here. He was here last week, and we are still here together. It's a pleasure to have you in the studio.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, like I said, quickly, let me ask, precisely May 29, 2015, the President Muhammadu Buhari took oath of office and became the president and commander-in-chief of the country. And I remembered on that day, he did say that his government will operate with three planks. One is security for Nigerians, 2 is the fight against corruption, 4 is economy. Let's look at it. I know time will not permit us to look at all the 3 issues, but let's look at security in the last 6 years. How far has it fared?
Okay, well, first of all, let me congratulate Nigerians on the fact that today marks 22 years since the return of democracy, and it has been consistent ever since. And secondly, I give us a pat on the back, for the fact that, in spite of prediction by an American institution that Nigeria will cease to exist as a country by 2015, we are still here as a country in 2021, making it 6 years after that prediction. So I really congratulate Nigerians for their resilience in spite of the many imperfections in the system. And specifically going back to your question, I think we have achieved quite a lot security-wise. You said in the last 6 years or 22 years? 6 years, okay?
6 years.
Okay. The government came into being on May 29, 2015, making it exactly 6 years today. And I remember that by December 2015, the armed forces were able to seize the initiative from the Boko Haram insurgents. By that December, about 75% attacks on hard and soft targets were reduced,
Okay.
Equally, by June 2016, there were no attacks outside the Northeast. Before then, there were attacks in Jos, Kano, Kaduna, Sokoto, so many other states, Suleja here, including even Abuja. You remember?
Yes.
You had the United Nations.
The International building, yes.
Exactly. The police headquarters was attacked. EMAP building was, so many places. So by 2017, 2018, there was a virtual defeat of Boko Haram. Unfortunately, there was no proper coordination on the part of those that should do the coordination. I don't want to be mentioning them all the time, so that led to, that created some gaps. And of course, you give some great credit to Boko Haram for its resilience. The fact that it continued, it was able to regroup, to be able to, hire more and more soldiers. You have to somehow give them a credit. Not a good thing for us anyway, but overall, by and large, I think we've been able to somewhat curtail some of the excesses of these brigands. There is still a work in progress, a lot of work to be done. But don't forget, we even had a local government election in December. Is this November or December last year in Borno State? The fact that we could have local government elections in all the local governments tells you that Boko Haram has indeed been degraded. I know that is a word not many Nigerians want to hear, but it remains a fact.
Okay.
The fact that all the local governments could hold local government elections peacefully, and the governor will even charge the chairman to go back and be operating from the local governments, tells you a lot, about the fact that quite a lot has been achieved in terms of degrading the insurgents. So economically, we also have achieved significantly a lot, in spite of the fact that when this government came into being, the price of oil dropped to, I think, even below $20 per barrel. Before then, I remember a time consistently for several months or years, it was running at around $140 per barrel. That was when Jonathan was the president. Unfortunately, for so many factors that were beyond us, because they were global, the price dropped to something below $20. And for a long stretch, it was running at that. So government didn't quite have the resources to execute some of the programs or projects it wanted to.
Okay.
Then you said economically, security,
anti-corruption.
Anti-corruption also, you will see that even though there are accusations that it is being selective, that the war is being prosecuted selectively, but you will see that even some friends or people that are close to the president are being prosecuted. You remember the former SGF, a very high-placed official of government, he's still being prosecuted.
Yeah, but the critics of that will say that the judgment seems not to be fast, because these issues are being dragged and we're not seeing speedy dispensation of justice.
Yeah, I think that has more to do with administration of justice.
Okay.
It goes beyond the administration or the person of President Buhari. I'm not holding brief for President Buhari because I'm not his spokesman. He has his able and capable spokespersons who are my brothers, Femi and Garba.
Nigerians will say that everything seems to be very slow. The expected speed, in all these things, generally.
I think there are maybe two factors. One, Muhammad Buhari that we know is no longer that the Muhammad Buhari that we used to know when he was
General Muhammad Buhari.
He was younger, more vibrant, and he was running a military government that could do whatever it wished, Now he is running a democratic government that has checks and balances, and that in itself, brings about all sorts of bureaucratic red tapes, making it impossible for things to move as speedily as possible. And I think here lies the need for us to really review some of our laws. This constitutional review that is in process now, I think, offers us a window to address some of these inadequacies that is making our bureaucracy so slow and mostly ineffective.
Yeah, some people have argued that law is not the problem of Nigeria's implementation and the enforcement of these laws. But okay, one of the things that happened was maybe trying to rejig the security situation. New sects of service chiefs were appointed, and sadly, Nigeria lost one of them, the late Chief of Army Staff, talking about Lieutenant General Ibrahim Tahiru, and a new man was appointed. Security Watch Africa was there at the Army headquarters when he assumed office. Sit back as we bring you this report by Shuli Daniels from the Army headquarters.
Which has been registered, the QAS is standing right before you. all retire back to our beat. There's going to be a special moment that will be organized. That will
28th of May 2021 at the Nigerian Army headquarters. History was made as a historian infantry officer and as a quintessential soldier. Major General Farouk Yahaya assumed office as the 22nd Chief of Army Staff, Nigerian Army. Immediately on his arrival at the Army headquarters, a ceremonial but traditional hoisting of a new Nigerian Army flag and a special of Guard of Honors was performed. Following the tragic plane crash that led to the death of the late Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Ibrahim Attahiru, and 10 other military personnel on Friday, 21st of May 2021, the Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces, President Muhammadu Buhari, appoints a former theater commander of Operation Hadinkai, Major General Farouk Yahaya, to replace the late Chief of Army Staff. Major General Farouk Yahaya, a native of Safinwa in Bodinga local government area of Sokoto State, northwestern part of Nigeria, is a member of the prestigious 37 regular course of the Nigerian Defense Academy. He was commissioned into the Nigerian Army Infantry Corps on 22nd September 1990. General Yahaya has held many strategic, administrative and operational positions since joining the Nigerian Army. Most remarkably was the Commander Headquarters 4 Brigade, Commander 29 Task Force Brigade of Operation Zaman Lafia, General Officer commanding 1 division where he gallantly fought kidnappers and bandits in Biningwari area of Kaduna State, and was posted as the Theater Commander Operation Lafia Dole to help stabilize and extend the fight against terrorism and insurgency in the Northeast. Today, Major General Farouk Yahaya is assuming office as the Chief of Army Staff at a time that Nigeria needs the Army most to help check the growing insecurity in the country. Shirley Daniels, Security Watch Africa.
Welcome back. If you are joining us, this is your program Security Watch Africa, where we talk about security and safety of our lives. Like you saw there, a report on the newly appointed Chief of Army Staff, Major General Farouk Yahaya, who just took over office. Yeah, you had a report and you've been following what has been happening. What would you say about this appointment?
Well, first of all, I'm quite elated because a well-grounded officer has been appointed to take charge of the Nigerian Army. He is a man of intense integrity. I've known him personally. Not that I have anything personal to do with him, but I know quite a lot of top officers in the 3 branches of the Nigerian military, and he is one of the people I happen to know. And even beyond my opinion is that of the soldiers themselves. You know, they were quite elated. I mean, the troops prosecuting the war on behalf of Nigeria, Operation Hadinkai, they were quite elated. They really celebrated the appointment of the new service chief, army chief.
In fact, we have a video of that which we'll play later to see. Yes.
So honestly, I'm quite elated. I'm very, very happy. I'm very confident that with a very dispassionate professional, thorough-bred professional like General Yahaya, there will be tremendous turnaround in the war against terror.
According to the words of the Honorable Minister of Defense, Major General Bashir Magashi, said that General Yahaya is a raw infantry officer to the core, and he is a man who has been tested and has been proven to be efficient. And like the report there said, when he was the GOC 1 division in Kaduna Aziz, he was able to fight this banditry to a standstill. But because of higher responsibility, he moved, and things never seems the same again. But anyway, like you mentioned earlier, also we had a video when on his announcement of him being the Chief of Army Staff, the troops around Maiduguri gathered at the headquarters of the Operation Lafia Dole to meet the new Chief of Army Staff and celebrate with him. We have that video for you, and you see how excited the soldiers are, because they believe he's a man who will take care of their welfare and ensure that what they need, following the footstep of the the man who appointed him as the theater commander, that he would provide it for them. Sit back as we bring you this video.
With your happiness, it has been registered. The class is standing right before you. Listen, before you retire back to your beat, there's going to be a special moment that will be organized, that will have this special celebration for the gift of God. Again, on behalf of the class, I wish to encourage each and individual of us to go back, you yourself, your family, your people back home, to submit the new class in the hands of God. By praying fervently for Allah's guidance, direction, and His protection. We have cause to jubilate, to celebrate at the end of His tenure.
We say thank you so very much.
Thank you so much.
Listen to us. God, inshallah, will bring this war to an end. So we'll go back to our normal place. Our commitment and dedication, we can do it. So thank you so very much for everything.
Yeah, welcome back. Like you heard him there say that with commitment and dedication, the war can be won, and really, I think he meant it. And before he spoke, the Chief of Staff of the Theater Command, Brigadier General Sadiq, did say that he must be put into prayers. Let's look at it. Is it really possible? Yes, General Yahaya had been there as the theater commander. He was appointed by the former Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General T.Y. Buratai. The late Lieutenant General Atahiru retained him, and some say that is a vote of confidence, that because he was doing very well, and here he is now becoming the #1 in the Nigerian Army. With all this, how do you see the fight?
Well, like I said, honestly, I'm confident, probably, I would say more than ever before. But since the turn of the year, the war against insurgency and banditry had taken a turn for the worse. So now that a thoroughbred professional has been appointed, somebody that is well-grounded, a man of intense integrity, I'm absolutely sure things will be turned around. So I'm quite optimistic. I'm very, very, very happy. And like I said, optimistic that the war will be turned around, and God willing, very soon the military will make a tremendous headway.
Okay, talking about making headway, just last night, the fighters of ISWAP wanted to try the military base at Iran, but the information that came out was so made me so happy, because 10 of those terrorists were killed, and the military base was actually protected. They didn't succeed. Some say that this is a new invigoration to the fight.
Exactly. You know what really makes, another thing that makes General Yahaya very special is the fact that General Atahiru, or late General Atahiru, the late Chief of Army Staff, changed all the commanders that I can remember without dropping Faruk Yahaya. He retained him in his position, and that tells you how special or how effective this man has been. You know, so the Nigerians that are optimistic that there will be a turnaround really can be more confident that indeed there will be a turnaround, because this is a man that knows his onions, that is very resolute in defeating these bandits and the terrorists. And I am very optimistic that with the support and prayers of Nigerians, sooner than later, God willing, we are going to defeat them hands down.
Yeah, because according to Brigadier General Sadiq, then when he was addressing the men, he said that they should put the new leadership into prayers, and Nigerians we need to support. This support seems not to be so much as in the past. We've not gotten Nigerians so much because some think this fight is between the Nigerian army and these terrorists.
And that is why we are getting it terribly wrong. Because these people are just representing us. You understand? The military personnel. And I don't think it's their wish, whereas we are in our air-conditioned offices or houses, they are in the trenches, you know, staking their lives for all of us. You know, and I believe they deserve our support. And what support can we give them? Prayers is probably number one. Secondly, we have to be able to training information to the intelligence services. You know, it's only by so doing that they are not magicians. They can't operate without our cooperation. They can't give us the kind of results we expect. Not even American security services have been given the Americans the kind of result they expect, you know, without Americans supporting them. So we really need to support the military in more ways than we could think of.
Talking about supporting the military, we have had some highly placed Nigerians who say that maybe the military doesn't even want this war to stop because they are making money from it.
Well, I think that is a very mischievous way of putting it. How could that be said in situations where even the commanders are being killed at times? You know? If it were maybe a tea party, one could say that. But we are talking about, you know, people getting into the trenches, deep in the bushes, you know, piercing enemy fire. And some people are saying the military doesn't want the war to end. I don't think that is correct.
Okay. Now let's go quickly. There was the news of finally the death of Abubakar Shekau. We know we talked about it briefly last week. What do you say? Will it help this fight now?
I believe it will help the fight because Shekau had been very recalcitrant. And like I started saying last week, if there are two institutions that we should credit for that, it is the Directorate of Military Intelligence. And the, I think, DSS to a large extent also.
Okay.
I know that the former Chief of Military Intelligence in charge of Army, General Sunday Adebayo, did his best to capture Shekau alive. I was aware of some of the things he did. Also, when he was promoted by President Buhari to the post of
the Chief
of Defense Intelligence, he continued with the same efforts. And I believe these efforts were cumulatively contributed in the fight that ensued between ISWAP and Boko Haram, which led to the killing of...
Yeah, because I wanted to bring you there. Yesterday you did a masterpiece article on the importance of what the DSS and the DIA had done in this fight.
Yes, honestly, you see, the issue, part of the problem we've been having is, and especially, honestly, I'm sorry to say, in the last 4 months, it is because of, you know, this rivalry. The intelligence services will most times gather intelligence, but because they are not the action agencies,
they're not the action agencies.
They are not the ones that will execute the intelligence. They will pass it on to the military or to the police. Somehow, because of some politics, it won't be executed. You know, the institutions that are in receipt of the intelligence would now say they also want to do their investigation, and then at the end of the day,
and that will
you know, by the time they finish their investigation, the attack has taken place.
So that means there's no overriding interest to...
That's why I'm sorry, I want to repeat it again. That's why I keep asking or calling on Mr. President to please do something about the National Security Advisor, the very ineffective one that we have. Honestly speaking, because unless we have someone that coordinates the security and intelligence services properly, this war cannot end. General Brate once said this war could last the next 20 years. I'm sure he's referring to things like this. Unless, of course, we have someone that can properly coordinate it, and there is no way it can end in the next maybe few months or even few years.
I wish we could continue, but we are getting signal to leave because there are other programs that will continue. But finally, let's just round up because I just have only 1 minute to sign off. Do you think we have hope now? 6 years has passed. Nigerians seems to be much afraid of what will happen the next minute than ever before.
Yes, I think I have some pieces of advice to give General Yahya, the new Chief of Army Staff. Because security, like you said, is one of the fundamental issues promised to us by President Buhari. And I will start with the Southeast, where the Eastern Security Network and other brigands are killing our security personnel like rats. I want to advise the new army chief to treat with serious caution, because whereas Boko Haram kills people, at will, the Eastern Security Network doesn't kill the Easterners. You understand? It is even, I permit me to use the word, protecting them, or giving the impression of protecting them, giving them protection. You understand? So they only attack security personnel and governmental institutions. So what it means is that there is need for the new chief of army staff to define interaction between the civil populace and the military, so that they will understand why the military is operating in the southeast and why it is operating the manner it is doing.
Okay.
There are other pieces of advice, like honestly they need to...
Yeah, maybe we'll continue next week because time is gone. But I want to say that some of those security personnel that's being killed, they're also Easterners themselves.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
So sadly, viewers, if you are just joining us, sorry, we've come to the end of the program today. But if you did enjoy watching us, endeavor to watch us again next week, or follow us on our social media handles on Twitter, Facebook, or YouTube, where you can watch the previous editions of this program. Until we come your way again next week, I would like to say thanks for watching us, and thank you for being in the studio once again.
Thank you so much.
Bye for now.